Hi, this is Tom Soane with another drive-by episode of The Anonymous Landlord. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the volume that you need to put in to your property business or your property journey in order to achieve success. Because, believe it or not, it's going to sound really obvious, but how well you do in property is directly linked to the volume that you put in. Now wait, before you go away, I didn't say effort. Did you notice I didn't say effort or energy or time or anything like that, or graft? Nothing like that. I'm talking about the volume that you put in, and that is something a little bit different. And I want to explain how that works, because you don't have to do it all. It's not all about you putting in a ton of effort and graft. So first of all, we're going to talk about some numbers. Now, I know some property investors that go around viewing 10 properties, 20 properties a week. A week! Now, for me, that's absolute madness, especially because I know these property investors can't buy 20 properties a week, that's for sure. A lot of them are looking for just one really good deal. Now, there is a little bit of method to that, because you do have to view a higher number of properties than you're going to buy. That's obvious, right? You've got to make more offers than the amount of properties that you're going to buy. But 20? No, you don't need to do that. So first of all, let's start with before you go to a viewing, because you do need to do your due diligence on a property before you even pick up the phone to the agent, before you even get in your car and go and view it. Trust me on that one. I'm trying to make it like, I'm trying to make you a bit smarter with the way that you view properties and the way you calculate property deals, because that's the key. It's just be a little bit, I don't want to say that you're dumb. I'm not trying to say that you're stupid. I'm trying to say that there is a more efficient way and a smarter way to work out what properties you want to see and what properties you don't. And then you have more time for yourself. And that's the thing about the Anonymous Landlord, is doing all of this stuff, investing in property, landlording, managing properties, looking after your finances and your wealth and your business, without having to do everything yourself and giving up all of your time. So when you're doing due diligence on a property, the obvious things to check are price, right? Fair enough. The other things to check are the demand in that area. Now, there are absolutely there's really good formulas that you can use, or I guess techniques that you can use to work out the demand in an area. But one very simple one is to open up Rightmove, let's say, search in and look around. For example, if I searched Portsmouth and then searched all the properties on the market in Portsmouth right now, and let's say there's 100 properties, 100 two-bedroom houses on the market right now. And then I go into filters and I click include sold subject to contract, SSTC. Then there's another, I don't know, 70 that are sold in that category, in that area. So now I know there's 100 on the market, so there's a lot on the market, but there's 70 that have sold. Now that's a good ratio. And you can work with that, because that means there's a good demand, because yes, there's 100 on the market, but 70 have been sold. So the way that works is, generally speaking, at any one time, there should be 100 on the market and 70 sold. So yeah, that's a fair enough ratio. You'll take that. So that means there's a good demand for that property. Now you need to work out the end value, the job done value, or the gross development value, depending on what you're doing with that property. So the way to do that is have a look through the photos, have a look through the entire property listing, and work out roughly what you need to do to generate or to add value to this property. That's if you're adding value. And then you work out the gross development value, or the job done value of the property once you've done that. And you can do that easily just by searching other sold prices in the area of properties that are done up. You can also do it by calculating the uplift of the property. And that's quite simple. You can actually go onto Zoopla and use their tool, which will show you the increase in value of properties in that area. It's a rough guide. Or you could go onto Rightmove, search the sold properties, look for similar properties that have sold in the last, say, 10 years, and work out what the difference is in sale price year on year. So if you've got one that's sold in 2010 for 100 grand, and then it's sold in 2015 for 120 grand, and then it's sold in 2019 for 130 grand, then you can get an idea of what that property is increasing by over that time. Again, it's a rough guide, but it should help you. So you've done some due diligence on that property. Now, I mentioned about calculating a refurbishment cost. When you go through the photos, have a look using the photos whether you need floor, walls, central heating, window replacements. Does it need a new kitchen, bathroom? Now, if you can see wallpaper on the walls, you might need to replaster. Wallpaper is a bit of a minefield because when you pull it down, then sometimes plaster behind the wallpaper can come down with it, sometimes. So you might need to take that into account. But working out your refurbishment cost ahead of the viewing, now it's not going to be an accurate figure, of course it's not, but you can work out a rough guide and then you can decide, do I want to go and view this property? I'm going to give you a quick tip about the kitchen, by the way. If you're looking at the photos of the kitchen and the kitchen looks old and run down and you think, oh, I need a new kitchen in there, have a look at the layout of the kitchen. Now, a decent agent should have a floor plan on that listing. If they don't, yeah, are they really doing a full job? Who knows? But anyway, yeah, have a look at the floor plan. Have a look at the layout of the kitchen. Have a look at the pictures of the kitchen. Now, if you don't think you can improve the layout of that kitchen, and that's key, think of it like this. If you rip out the entire kitchen, are you just going to put a new kitchen into that room, the kitchen room, in the same layout that it was before? If the answer is yes, then check out the carcass of the existing kitchen, because with a little bit of TLC and care and maybe a lick of paint or something like that, you might be able to use the existing carcass of the kitchen in the current layout and replace the cupboard doors. If the worktops are still okay, then fine. You might, worst case scenario, get someone to come and replace the worktop. It's not as expensive as replacing the entire kitchen. So have a look for that. Now then you might give yourself a few options, right? So if you're going to go and view the property, then you might first of all look at that kitchen and calculate, right, I need a new kitchen in there. But if I don't need a new kitchen, then this is the cost of the refurb. So you've done that due diligence. Then calculate your yield, of course, your true yield. Please don't calculate your fake yield because you might end up making some mistakes with the purchase. Your true yield has to be calculated all the time, every time. So once you've ticked those boxes, and you must tick those boxes, work out, oh, by the way, work out how much cash is actually required. You will need your deposit, your legal fees, you'll need your stamp duty, your refurbishment costs, you'll need any buying fees. If you're buying it at auction or through a sourcing agent or a deal packager, you'll need buying fees. So work out how much cash you'll need just to make sure you're not going to fall short. And once you've done all that, go through your tick your boxes, and if it ticks your boxes, go and see the property then. Don't go and see it if it doesn't tick your boxes, I promise you. Now, I am going to come back to that because we're talking about volume here, right? And there's an element of volume which isn't all about going and seeing properties. There's an element of volume which is about building relationships with agents. Now, if there's a 50-50 property that you're looking at it and thinking, maybe, maybe not, go and see it anyway, for sure. Two reasons. Number one, you never know. It might be a really good property deal and it might be quite an interesting exercise, might learn something. Or number two, it might be a really good way to build a relationship with the estate agent and to say, hey, do you know what, I'm not sure about it, but I'll come and see it anyway. Because agents need to keep their customers happy, of course they do. And if they're showing people around the property and they're active and they're doing lots of viewings, then it just helps them build the relationship with their customer. So if you're readily available to go and view properties, then that's a good thing, I promise you. That will work out well for you in the long term. And it's good volume. Now, there's another little tip here that that I've been doing recently, I no longer do all the viewings. I know, crazy, isn't it? I do go and view some of the properties, but if I get sent, I get given loads of property investment opportunities, loads of buy-to-lets, flips, buy, refurbish, refinance, loads of opportunities that's just sent to me. It's because I'm doing all this. I'm doing podcasting and social media, and I'm putting myself out there a bit as a property investor. But I'm getting tons of properties offered to me, and it's good because I can then offer them to my investor clients. But anyway, so I don't go and see all of them. If there are any really obvious ones that look great, then that I know are good property investment deals, then I have sent my wife, because my wife has a very good eye for these things. I've sent my colleagues, I've sent my team to go and check these properties out. So you can do the same thing. If you see a property and you get, you tick your boxes and think, yeah, this is definitely a good property, all I need to do is go and make sure that it's what it looks like, then you don't have to do it all yourself. That's what I guess I'm saying. Now, I trust my team. I trust my contacts as well. I'm doing a lot of purchasing outside of the city in different areas. So I trust the teams that I'm working with in Swansea and Newcastle at the moment. So so anyway, you don't have to do it yourself, but the volume is still there, right? So you still need to see enough properties, and if you see enough properties, you need to make enough offers, and I'll come to that in a second. And if you make enough offers, you need to get enough sales agreed, and I'll come back to that too. How do you get the sale agreed? How do you make the offer? What offer do you make? How do you make sure it gets completed? So what we've done is we've now maximized our efficiency on the volume of viewings that we're doing. It's quite good fun though, isn't it? Going through Rightmove and just searching a load of properties and seeing which ones could be good and could be not good. Now, look, I'm not trying to take viewings away from you. If you enjoy going to do viewings, hey, carry on. I'm not trying to stop that. I'm just trying to give you another option of how you can make that bit more efficient. So now you're at the property, you go round, you do your tick boxing, and by the way, it's hammering it down with rain here. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Literally hammering it down. Oh my. I hope you can still hear me anyway. This is real life, isn't it? I'm not in a studio. I'm not being mass produced or anything like that. I'm just sitting in my car. This is where I have all my thoughts. So anyway, yes, so you've done the due diligence, you've gone to the viewing, you've confirmed that the property is correct, you've listened to my podcast about the critical things that you definitely need to look out for at a property viewing. I talk about Japanese knotweed, damp, any signs of water ingress, those types of things, loads of them. Just things that you need to check for. So it's a good one. So I always work, roughly speaking, on a 80-20 rule, right? Now, if you're smart enough with the viewings and you're only seeing properties that are prime for investment, then you can work to the 80-20 rule. Meaning, if you see 10 properties and you make 8 offers, you should get 2 sale agreed. But that's only if you make realistic offers, right? If you go viewing 10 properties that are worth 100 grand and you offer 50 grand on each one, you're probably not going to get much. But I do always believe that you should never be greedy when it comes to property, or any investment actually. And I bet any investor will tell you the same. Don't be greedy. Greedy, I don't mean greedy as in want more. I mean, don't be greedy as in make silly offers and try and rip people off and things like that. That will never work for you. You might get the odd one, but you won't build any kind of business because you'll just be labelled by agents and lawyers and every seller that you could think of as somebody that just goes around making stupid, cheeky offers. And it makes it awkward for the agent as well. The agent then has to go to their customer, bear in mind you're not their customer, has to go to their customer and say, yeah, here's an offer. Yeah, it's half the asking price, but I've got to put it to you. And the customer, believe it or not, blames the agent for that. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But right, so anyway, make an offer. If you view 10 properties, make 8 realistic offers, calculated offers, and then you should get 2 that will accept and progress. Great, huh? Now, if you're only buying one, you can package that up and pass it on to another investor that you might know that might be interested in investing, and charge them an intro fee. Give me a shout. Hey, do you know what? If you've got a property that you've got a good price on, a good deal on, give me a shout. I'd be interested in that. If not, I know someone that will. I've got a good little network of serious investors. I like to keep my investor clients as a small little network. So, right, you've done the right volume of viewings, the right volume of offers, the right volumes of sale agreeds. So now you have, I guess you've got the right numbers to be able to build your little property business and grow it realistically, smoothly and efficiently, and you're not giving up all of your time. So it's not all about graft. It's not all about putting all of your time and energy into going around viewing properties. It's actually about doing some due diligence, being a bit smart. And if you're doing the 80-20 rule, 10 viewings, 8 offers, 2 sale agreeds. Now, if one of those properties that you have a sale agreed on is going to make you 30 grand profit, you're going to do a flip, but you haven't got enough money to buy the second, you might still be able to make 3 grand on that. So there you go, 33 grand profit just by seeing 10 viewings. Would you do 10 viewings for 33 grand? I would. So there you go. And try and build up your team around you. And remember, it's not all about high volume. Just because the title of this video might be something like the volume is directly linked to your success, doesn't mean I'm talking about high volume, right? It might actually be low volume, but smart volume. So look, I hope that helps, and I hope the rain wasn't too off-putting. If you're listening to this in your car, then and it's a beautiful sunny day, you're probably thinking, where's all this rain coming from? Where's that sound of rain? Well, that's in my car, I'm afraid. But like I say, I'm not produced. I don't prepare this in a studio. I just have a thought in my head, I hit record when I start my journey, I hit end when I finish my journey, and then I edit something together at the end of it. So I hope this has been helpful to anybody. I guess what I'm saying is get out there and do smart viewings. Do your due diligence. Keep an eye on your volume. You don't need to do high volumes. You just need to do smart volumes. Brilliant. I've just come up with a catchphrase. I love it. Right. So if anybody needs help finding property deals, it's what I do. I get so many offered to me. I have networks of people that are currently and right now going around sourcing investment properties for me in different areas of the country. I'll be honest, mainly, I'd probably say 75% of the properties that I get are around the Portsmouth and surrounding areas, but I get a lot from other cities too. And I have a lot of contacts in other cities too. So if you need some help finding a property, I'd love to help you. I love doing it. I love helping other people on their journey to, do you remember my 3 phases? Financial freedom, life freedom, dream freedom. I love that. So get in touch, or if you need some help raising some finance, or if you need some help with a deal that you've already found, and you might need some help with finding good contractors, finding reliable tradespeople that are gonna refurbish the property, finding reliable agents. Do you know what? I'm connected with about 3,500 agents. They're highly trained agents, letting agents and estate agents around the country. So if you're looking for agents, managing agents, estate agents, anything like that around the country, let me know and I'll just connect you with the ones that I think are the best. It's up to you if you want to go with them, but I know them. So there you go. So that's what I do, property sourcing. I'm a bit of a middleman, I suppose, between agents around the country and investors and landlords. But if you also need a bit of help with your own property, if you've got a rental property, then let me know, because I tell you what, I can help you with the compliance side too. But either way, that's a bit of a waffle about me. What I would say is that if you're going to be the best version of yourself at one thing, and that might be the volume, then be the best version of yourself at everything. My name's Tom Soane, and this, as always, is the Anonymous Landlord.